case you never noticed, I am actually going to be having every episode of this series as a different turn. Which means there will be some shorter episodes in there, but it doesn't really matter because I don't really have a schedule. So, yes. So in the last trade rates, we would suggest giving us map information with those trade rates. And as you can see, they've accepted the offer. It is generous and fair. Now, Macedonia. Would you actually care for an alliance? They've accepted the offer. Marvelous. So you can see here, end of turn 4. I just see that my Daenerys went up, so that's fine. Marriage celebrations, congratulations to Vibius Brutus and Servilia. Marriage and the home are the bedrocks of Roman greatness, and the strengthening of Rome is a blessing from the gods. So, yes, we're probably going to be seeing many of them in the future. Aquilonian's got its wooden palace set up, so now I feel much more confident about it. We could get a barracks, get 10 watch, doesn't really matter, really. I think I'm just going to let land planes get the population up quicker. Complete. X days, mark. Nice now. We have some Brutii and Macedon, which we done during the last turn. And we can send these equities out. Oh, and I just remembered, I forgot to say this, so we get these tasks from the Senate, who are in Rome, and we're not the only ones that get, I believe. I know when you play as one of the other factions, you do get, or one of the other Roman factions, apart from Rome, of course, because you're not supposed to play as the Senate, the SPQR. Senate Romanus Populus. Senate Populus Romanus, I think it's that actually. So, the Julia is task taking Segesta. Now I'm also going to mention I do not know the proper way to say these words, like of the names of all the tents. So I could be saying the complete wrong name. So I just thought I would mention that before I go on and possibly say the wrong names of many of these towns and cities. So the July archetype takes Segesta, which is pretty much the same as Apollonia. But the Scipii, well, they've got a much more difficult task, as they're tasked with taking a city on Sicily. Now, they share a border with the Carthaginians and the Greek cities. So they actually have to fight a proper faction instead of just rebels. And they have to take Syracuse, I believe, which has a stone wall. So the Julii and the Brutii are tasked with taking little villages with no walls. Meanwhile the Scipii, oh, they have to take a stone wall. Syracuse, Greek Senate, Greek cities, proper faction, and basically declare war on them. So yeah, that's a bit difficult, isn't it?
Yes, master.
The spy agrees. And I'll actually start moving you up north from now.
Secrecy is assured.
And start sending you up. Oh, actually, I should have watched over there. Never mind. Just keep moving up. And there's Salona, which has Cilician pirates, militia hoplites, and tunes of Illyrian mercenaries. They're better than mercenary peltasts. And we can't see the stats right now, but they actually have a decent attack and defense compared to mercenary peltasts. Actually, you can see here, Illyrian mercenaries, 8 melee attack, 14 missile attack, but I think that's even more than the mercenary peltasts. Check here, yes it is. But yeah, I can actually see here because it's the same stats pretty much as abilities had. So the abilities actually had less armor, or less shield defense I was thinking of. And we're actually, that might be worth getting some Illyrians, yes. send him on to Sicily, because there's no way to get across because there is actually sea there, much like the other sea over here. There's not any like operation of the straits, I guess, unlike some modern games now. Well, or modern times, I suppose. So we're sending him up. Aemilius Brutus, I'm sorry, I must use your proper name. And you'll head towards Salona. And where's my diplomat? There you are. I was going to send you up to Macedonia, but I don't really need to do that now. And I guess I've already talked about the fact. How good are you? Diplomatic, that's a good start at least. Let's go to Termon. And let's see if we can bribe Termon to join us. We cannot. That's a shame. I guess we don't have enough yet. It's probably we don't have enough denarii to do so. So we'll just send you north and you can go and talk to some of the factions up here. And as you can see on the map, we've now got more of the map complete because we did trade for map information with Macedonia. Let's see where all of their towns and cities are. I believe they're besieging. Oh wait, no, they're not besieging Athens. They normally do. Well, the Greek cities might go for it instead. Because it's just in rebel hands. This isn't entirely accurate, but it's fun. Okay, so you've got Crete down here, which is great for getting your Cretan archers, though you can also get them from other settlements around here as well. In the map, you have actually got the 7 wonders of the world. You have the Statue of Zeus at Olympia, which was +4 bonus to population loyalty in all settlements. That is great. You're going to want that for when you've got a huge empire. Which, if you're a Roman faction, that's probably going to happen. You get the Colossus of Rhodes, which is probably the best of all the wonders, because it increases naval trade by 40%, which is incredible, especially when you've got all of Greece, which has a huge amount of trade. Like, the Eastern Roman Empire, they had lots of trade compared to the Western Roman Empire after the whole Roman Empire got split. The Eastern Roman Empire was much more prosperous, which is why it actually, or one of the reasons why it managed to survive long into like the Byzantine Empire and such. Oh, we can actually see some of the Seleucids have territory down here. Then there's the rebels. They've got Mausoleum of Halicarnassus, which is good late game, I guess. We're just building construction times by 20%, which only works with buildings that take more than, or at least 5 turns to complete. And that's basically most of the buildings at the end of the game, like late game stuff. The Seleucids actually have the Temple of Artemis, which reduces the cost of new religious buildings by 30% in all settlements. It's okay, much like the Mausoleum of Halicarnassus is okay, but it's not necessary. Actually, I'll head down to one that will be important if you're fighting the Egyptians. The Great Pyramid and Sphinx on Giza, which increases the loyalty of Egyptians to the only faction regardless of culture. That takes away the culture penalty for the Egyptians when you take a new city or town or whatever, which is really useful because these are really good towns and stuff down here. You're going to want to have good taxes, get good infrastructure. You don't want to guard it that much because you're likely going to have some of the other territories, and there's lots there. There's quite a few towns and cities down here. There's like 3 here compared to one which has like all of that, and then they've got like 1, 2, 3. These ones are all much better. They're at the Nile. And there's Alexandria, the Great Lighthouse, and that increases your naval strength basically, which is useful if you decide to fight, for example, the Skiffhead. AI don't normally tend to create that big a navy, though it's fun when they do. And finally, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, the mythical wonder of the world. It does actually say it's owned by the Seleucid Empire, which is fun. It gives a 20% bonus to farming income in all settlements. That is insanely useful, especially when you're playing as one of the Eastern factions, such as the Parthians, or I guess the Seleucids, though they're technically Hellenic, or of course the Egyptians, who are their own culture. Or I guess you could argue the Scythians, though they probably won't make it that far south. They tend to just have like one huge territory here, unless I guess the Scythians lose it to the Parthians, who have like one small settlement up here and then like a couple down here. But anyway, that was mainly just filler, I guess. Well, it was educating because there wasn't much to do this turn. So, yeah, hey.